Oktoberfest is around the corner, and there is no better opportunity for me, a true and tested German, to show you around Singapore and introduce you to a few German restaurants. Today we are at United Square and I will show you a restaurant called Brauhaus. I think they're quite famous for their big selection of beers, so let's check it out.
Good.
It is very nice actually, because it really reminds me of Germany. It's kind of good. But my absolute favorite is Schneider Weisse. Unfortunately, they don't have it here, but keep an eye out. If you see it anywhere in Singapore, get a Schneider Weisse. So the drinks menu is ginormous. We have 2 pages of beer, and the German selection is kind of good as well. But they only have a few. What do you think?
I think the Polaner Dunkel is still better.
Yes. So today we are having Franziskaner, the normal wheat beer, and Franziskaner Dunkel. Both are 2 very popular German brands. And here we have the pork knuckle with some sauerkraut, 1 lonely piece of carrot and 1 lonely potato. First bite. So, here's how you know if your pork knuckle is any good. First, go for the crunchiness. Look at the crust. If it's nice and crispy and not soggy, that's a good sign. The next thing is how tender is the meat. Not the fat, just the meat. How tender is it? And then the next bit is the meat to fat ratio, because sometimes you get the really bad ones where it's like 50% fat, 50% meat. You don't want that. This pork knuckle is good. It gets 1.5 potatoes out of 3. And how do you know if your sauerkraut or your cabbage is any good? First of all cabbage always comes out of the can. There is no way around it unless they make it fresh, and that takes months to do, and you're not going to find that in Singapore. So all cabbage by default is out of the can, which is fine. It's good. It's perfectly fine. But the trick is, what do they add? Do they add any sort of pepper or pieces of apple or cumin? That makes the difference between the ordinary canned one and the canned one that is a little bit spiced up. This one here is just out of the can. Alright, so we do have 4 kinds of sausage with some potato salad and sauerkraut. Okay, and now I'm showing you how to eat the white sausage. So the white sausage, or the Weißwurst, is always boiled, and it's pork meat, yeah? What you have to do, you don't just eat it, you actually have to, with your hand, remove the skin. That's the traditional way. And there you have it. That's one white sausage. Make sure that you ask if it's veal or pork for any of you who have any food restrictions. I think we are done. Alright, so I just got out of Brauhaus at United Square and it's time for the review. I'm a little bit torn because I don't want to be mean, but I still owe you an honest review, right? So I have come up with a scale of 1, 2 and 3. 1 potato means it's maybe worth visiting if you're around already. 2 potatoes means it's worth visiting a little bit, and 3 potatoes means you absolutely have to visit it no matter where you are in Singapore. The sausages were okay quality, but not what you expect from a restaurant. So with sausages, at least German sausages, you can taste the difference between the store-bought, fair price quality sausages and the butchery quality sausages. This here clearly was the grocery store quality, unfortunately. However, if you've never tasted the difference, you probably wouldn't know and would still be okay. But to be completely honest, for me, not so much. Let's talk about the star of the dinner, the pork knuckle. In terms of crispiness, it was good. In terms of lean meat to fat ratio, it was also good. But it did have a few dry ends. Let's talk about the atmosphere. That is very important to me because I go to a German style restaurant to get a little bit of atmosphere in, right? When I first entered, it felt a little bit grim, to be completely honest with you guys. I wasn't a big fan, but I do understand part of it is simply the pandemic situation because you're not allowed to play any music. So just walking into an empty restaurant at 5 p.m. without any music, it's gonna be a little bit bad. I'm not holding that against them. So for me, there's a fine line between rustic and a little bit grim. And I think they felt more on the grim side a little bit, unfortunately. Let's talk about the beer selection, which was for me personally the biggest draw to come here. I really wanted to get my Schneider Weisse, but I didn't. Out of the hundreds of beer available, they only had a few for us available. Once again, I want to be very generous and maybe say it had to do with the pandemic, but I feel like I'm just trying to make excuses on behalf of them now. But I have to stay honest. Overall, I would give the Brauhaus at United Square in Novena barely under a potato of 3. So I'm not saying it is objectively bad, I'm just saying that I expected more. However, I do see a lot of potential in this restaurant and I wish them all the best and I hope to come back and have an even better experience next time. So this was the first of many more videos on how to celebrate Oktoberfest in 2021 in Singapore. Please stay tuned, subscribe, click the bell button and all that good stuff so you know when I post the next video on where to celebrate Oktoberfest this year. Thanks for watching and see you around. Bye bye!